ranking member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, is tonight accusing the government of being neck deep in corruption and corruption-related matters. The reason why the Office of the Special Prosecutor is being frustrated. Joy News checks review the office has been without a governing board since the new Special Prosecutor was appointed some 9 months ago after Martin Hamidu's exit. Section 5 and 6 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, tasked the board to formulate policies for the object of the office, ensure proper and effective performance of the functions of the office. Also advised the Special Prosecutor on the recruitment and selection of real staff, among others. This was President Akufo-Addo's statement when he appointed a Special Prosecutor 9 months ago.
I want to assure Mr. Kissi Agyebeng, like I did his predecessor, that not only will the executive, including the Attorney General, respect scrupulously the independence of his office, but also will provide him with whatever assistance is required to enable him to discharge his high duties effectively in the interests of the Ghanaian people. Indeed, all institutions of state will work and cooperate with him in the same spirit which he articulated in his approval proceedings in Parliament. Government will continue to give stronger budgetary assistance to the other constitutionally mandated institutions that hold government accountable and help fight corruption.
But Joy News is learning the absence of the board is frustrating the Special Prosecutor to recruit and ratify the contract of some contract workers. My colleague Elton Brobe joins me live through Zoom with more on this development. Elton, first tell us about the composition of the board.
So, Grace, well, if you look at the law establishing the Special Prosecutor, it's very clear. This is institutional representation. So you have the police, the Financial Intelligence Agency, we have UOCO, we have the civil society organizations, or about 14. Now, the law also says that when this is fully composed, they will select among themselves a board chairperson, and that chairperson would not come from the Special Prosecutor or his or her deputy. So this is quite clear. So this is the composition, but unfortunately what we are learning is that even though the institutions identified in the law establishing the Special Prosecutor, they have made representation to government to compose the board. But as we speak right now, there's not been any move, as far as we know, for the president to swear them in, because that is all that is left now, to swear them in so that they can function effectively as the board supervising the operations of the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
So it means that these institutions have made their nominations for consideration, but nothing has happened.
Exactly. That is the information we have picked. Indeed, we have been checking with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We have been checking with the Attorney General's Department. What we were told this morning was that the Special Prosecutor wrote to the Chief of Staff about 4 months ago, indicating that the persons expected to form the board, the nomination had come through, and they wrote to the Chief of Staff asking for date and time for the swearing-in to take place, but they've not been, they are yet to receive a response to this letter.
Do we know the reason why it's taking this long for the swearing-in to happen?
But it's very unclear. We've been checking with the Office of the President. We are not getting any information relating to that. We know that President Akufo-Addo himself is out of town. And usually he will do, he will undertake this task, or he may delegate somebody to do so. So once that delegation has not come, we'll assume that he wants to do it himself. But as to when that will be done, we do not know. Indeed, I checked with the Attorney General's Department. They were quite clear that they don't want to interfere in the work of the Special Prosecutor. So they will not take the lead. But it is up to the Special Prosecutor and the appointing authority, the President, to ensure that the board is constituted. Now, the challenge here is that the Special Prosecutor is facing challenge relating to recruitment and, of course, ratifying those who are on contract. Because in the absence of the board, they have no mandate whatsoever to go ahead and recruit, because the board will have to provide direction, will have to provide the financial incentive approved before that can be done. So the Kissi Agyebeng-led Office of Special Prosecutor is working without the required staff to enable them execute the mandate that has been enshrined in the law effectively, because obviously the mandate to recruit is not there. Because the person to provide that mandate, they are yet to take office.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Director of Advocacy and Policy Management at the Center for Democratic Development, Ghana, Dr. Kojo Asante, has asked government to, as a matter of urgency, set the office up to execute its mandate successfully.
I'm puzzled by the whole issue of the board, because we submitted the nominee for the anti-corruption organizations in March, and I know that all the agencies has also submitted their nominations. So I don't understand why just the inauguration is becoming a problem. It would definitely be a big problem for the OSP, because the way the governance architecture is designed, for him to get in senior officers, directors, and so on, he needs the advice of the board. And without that, they cannot legitimately sort of work. So I really, it's a puzzle to me why this has dragged on. I'll really urge and appeal to government to really just, within a few days, just get this inauguration done so that he can get on with his work.
Some will say these are the very basics for the office to function. But after all these years, the issue about whether we are really serious about the fight against corruption comes up. Are we really serious about it?
I think that's the question, and the right question to ask, because, we cannot keep making these statements that the OSP is one of our key interventions for fighting corruption, and yet our actions don't speak loud enough that we want to make that institution work. So I really think that this is not good, even in terms of the resources. Yes, I know that the situation is very difficult for the finance ministry and everyone, but the OSP's mandate.
A ranking member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Bernard Ahiafo, says the operationalization challenges faced by the Special Prosecutor has cast a slur on government's quest to fight corruption. According to him, the involvement of government officials in corrupt activities is the reason why the office has been denied resources. His comment came on the back of revelations that a Special Prosecutor does not have a governing board 9 months after he was appointed to office. Speaking to Joy News, he observed that government does not want to empower the Special Prosecutor to expose its officials involved in corruption.
It's a matter of interest to us, because the last time we met the office of the Special Prosecutor, we've been given every assurance, and he stated clearly things that the office of the Special Prosecutor needs to be able to perform creditably and reliably. He is prepared to live up to his mandate, but he needs the financial resources. He needs the equipment. There must be the will on the part of the government for the Special Prosecutor to perform. So, if you are appointed as a Special Prosecutor, but there is no governing board, are you going to act on your own?
So now he's not performing.
Who provides you with the policy?
The direction. So now he's not having what he needs to govern.
Kissi Agyebeng was a year behind me at the law school. I know him very well. He is a man of integrity. Given the needed equipment and the resources, he will be able to perform creditably and reliably. But I believe strongly that he is being inhibited. He is being requested to appear to be checking corruption, but in reality not to check corruption. Take directions and policies. Yes, the government must do that as a matter of urgency if they are not pretending to establish the office of the Special Prosecutor to prosecute corruption and corruption-related offenses, but in reality not to do so. The government must, as a matter of urgency, put that particular board in place. This is a very essential board, very important than other boards that they have constituted.
He also charged government to immediately constitute a board to demonstrate its commitment towards a fight against corruption.
By the Special Prosecutors Act, a board must be in place, and it is the board that formulates policies. There are a lot of functions that the board of the office of the Special Prosecutor is supposed to perform. Now, Kissi Agyebeng has been appointed as the Special Prosecutor, but as we speak, 9 months after his appointment, there is no board in place to formulate policy and guide and provide a direction that he should go. So he's in that particular office as the special prosecutor without even a governing board. Now he is there as a special prosecutor. Resources are needed, both human and financial resources, to be able to conduct in-depth investigation into issues relating to corruption and corruption-related offenses in Ghana. But he has not been provided the needed resources to be able to do that. So for me, Kissi Agyebeng is appointed as the special prosecutor to behave as if he is checking corruption and corruption-related offenses.
Now, in a related development, the special prosecutor has frozen the asset of late Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, Kwadwo Osu-Afriye, also known as Sir John. Mr. Afriye's will went viral on social media a couple of weeks ago amid concerns he had gifted land at the Achimota Forest and a host of other houses and properties across the country to his family members. The Land Ministry has since commenced a probe into the said land and declared any such acquisition and transfer as invalid. Now, Kofi J joins me in studio with some graphical representation on that. Let's take a look at the asset as listed in Sir John's will. Kofi, what do we know? Let's understand.
Well, so Brace, before we go to that, I was counting the number of properties he was able to acquire from 2017 till he passed away, and you could count about at least 8 houses and plot of land between this period that I'm
since 2017.
About. Exactly, since 2017. Now, if you look into the purported will, you could count 7 houses in East Legon alone. So he had 7 houses in East Legon, and then he had 2 residents in Oyarifa, 1 each in Ajiringano, Otinshi, and then Sakura.
Sakra Wono.
That's
his hometown.
That's his hometown, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Sokoban.
Yeah, okay. So if you come to plots of lands in East Legon, we're just looking at the will, and when the Achimota Forest issue came up, if you just sum up the lands he actually gave out to people in the Achimota Forest, it's about over 6.52 hectares at the Achimota forest. And then we could also count 10 petrol tanker vehicles. 10 petrol tanker vehicles also in the will. Not just that, there were fuel stations at Kenton Chrono in Kumasi. And then we also have teak plantation at Kawiye, also in the Ashanti region. Then we have investment of over 2 million Ghana cedis. Investment of over 2 million Ghana cedis also in the will. And then we have 13 private automobiles. 13 private automobiles also in the will. And then he also had a private hospital called the Afriye Memorial Hospital. And then we also had rubber plantation, okay, and some farms at Ejura. And then almighty guns, 5 pump action guns also in the purported will of Sir John Brace.
So that's a breakdown of the properties that Sir John acquired.
Exactly.
From 2017.
Not just 2017.
But all his properties that he had. Well, so that's it there. Now, the minor.